Hello everyone, it's Linda from Richter Stitcher. This will be my Flosstube, I don't even know what number it is, and today's September the 28th. It's been kind of crazy, but I'll upload my 50-minute, I think, tour of what's all in here now and how I have it set up, and then I'm going to go out here and share with you the next project I have on my plate after this reno. Just have a few things here on my craft table that I'm going to put away in the next couple days, but between that and starting my fall, it'll get done. So let's go out here and I'll share with you the project that's upcoming now that my craft room is done. We have, if you can see, all my fall here in the dining area. Just emptied 14 boxes, I guess. So this all will go in my dining room, in my kitchen, and my living room. The cabinets will get all falled out. And then the area here in the kitchen, I have got the table area covered with the boxes that I emptied, and then this area here. So I do it to myself, but those are the boxes I just completed in the last hour, emptying. A few things to wash up, and then these all can be put in the attic for a month or so. But that's kind of what's happening now that the craft room is done. And when I get it all finished and decorated, I'll make a short tour of it all. Just didn't want to have to deal with that right away. This is kind of unique. I found some frames, and I might attempt my own framing. We'll see how it goes. But I have a tray in here also that has some magnetic frames, and I'll show you the picture I did with one of these over there on the wall in a minute. But I got them on Amazon. They're just magnetic poster hanger frames, so if you're in a hurry and want to hang something fairly quickly like I did, I pulled one of those out. But in school, my son used to love art. So when I was cleaning out my craft room, on the side of the wall, I found a bunch of drawings. I'm going to actually, hang them here in the craft room somewhere. Just haven't done it yet. But I thought they were very unique and worth hanging. I'm not sure if this, it probably goes like this. But he drew this, I don't know, it might have a year back here. 1992 it says, so that was the year we moved here actually. So I thought that was really unique, and purple is pretty with the green. I think it'll go nice in my craft room. And then I thought about Christmas presents. I have one on the back of the door I can get to in a second. I'll show that in a second. But I like some of the pencil sketches that he did, and I thought if I could frame some of these in here. I have to brag on my son. I just thought these were very pretty. Simple but pretty, as well as this is very colorful. Thought it went well with the colors in my craft room. And I'll just kind of hang those in here somewhere. And then this one that I laid here is a chalk drawing. So it's covered in paper over the years, so I'm kind of glad it got protected. Probably, if I can get it off here with one hand. Not so easy. Ugh, don't want to rip it. Let me do this. There we go. Just thought this was unique, and I was thinking of giving it to him in a frame for Christmas. He likes, I think it's a motorcycle parts and things, something like that, but he drew that, and I just thought, I am going to frame this up and give it back to him. He can hang it somewhere in his house. But I was just trying to think of different things I could get for Christmas gifts besides the ones that I want to hang in here. I'll share my husband's musical, so my son also drew this, and this is one of the magnet things, and I thought, I would wrap this up for my husband for Christmas, and he'll see that on the back my son signed it. Apparently it was 1980, just before he graduated. Or wait, not 1980, that couldn't be. Maybe that was the score he got. I was gonna say my son wasn't born until 1984 or 88. So he drew it after that. I'm assuming it was high school, so somewhere in the 90s. But yeah, it was, I'm getting my dates confused. I'm getting old. This is the one I really like. Of course, it matches perfect, and that's my little boy right there. Had to put a little picture of him. But these colors, I want to put that other white magnet frame on here. For now, I've got it on a little stand, but I don't know if you can see. The trees are like birch trees, but they go perfect with my colors in here. So that was some of the things that I wanted to do with the things that I found. But like I said, I've got everything set up on this wall. I've got my looms in here. All these seats I have under this table, they come up, and I've put my looms in that one, and like I said, flannels in that one. Extra things. Let me pick this up real quick so that I don't have a mess to clean up afterwards. I want to try and keep this room fairly organized so that I'm not messed up. Let me get this back under the paper so we don't get the chalk all messed up. And then I'll share the rest of the room here and how I've got my supplies so that you can see I can easily get in here. I have all my cutting boards. I've got they're, what do you call when they can move? Circular. When you're doing cutting pieces, I've got a square one and a round one. And I've got a nice place for each one that I can see and find them easily. Oh, it's over under that table. Very handy to have if you're doing cutting pieces and don't want to move your pieces. So that's where I put the cutting boards. And these are my magnets. I've got lighting in some places, but this will just, I stuck a light under there. Let's see, this is just knickknacks, sewing knickknacks, thimbles. And of course, gotta have some light. Little twinkle lights. A little bit of decor in here right now. I haven't brought in most of the stuff, and I might not. Just depends on what it is. If it's too large, it's probably not going to come back in here. But little knickknacks I can bring in. Like I said, this is my rolling cart. There's not a lot on it as project-wise yet, but as I get things out, I have an empty shelf here. I can put a project in. This is my sewing box, and then whatever I'm working on can go on my stand so I can see the pattern. I've got a little ruler holder here. These are all my marking pens for sewing. A trash can. These are empty right now, but they're for a rotary cutter there, and some cutting pieces for shapes. My ironing best press and spray bottle are back there, so I can wheel this around in here if I need to go to a different sewing machine with it. Just depends on what I'm doing. I'm not figured out what to do with this guy yet. If I'm cross-stitching in here, it'll be nice to have, but when I'm working over the table, you know, I can give myself some light. So, or if I'm sitting in this chair to cross-stitch, I can wheel it up towards me. Right now it's kind of in the way in the floor, but like I said, if I need it somewhere, I can roll it around and easily put down like that. And I can go ahead with that. Like I said, this is my chair. Easily on the mat, rolls around. So it'll go between this sewing machine and this sewing machine, since I don't have a stool for this machine. It'll just go back and forth here. And each of those machines I have a little stool for. Could have a little class in here. Hoping my daughter will be serious about wanting to learn to sew when she gets time, but with a 8-month-old, it's a little tricky. So this machine is my featherweight, Kathy. I was received from my dear friend Kathy. So she's the one that I use mostly. I need to rethread it. It looks like I was trying to do something the other day and the thread broke, so we'll rethread that. Or not too many supplies. You know, I've got my little magnet tray here. some scissors here. Under here are some sewing whips that I want to finish. So these are all my sewing whips that I need to do. I've got them all in one area, so I'm not going and hunting for them. They're here. Some rulers and my iron are under here. These are the most common ones that I use, small, medium, and large. Rulers, as well as I can put my long big ones behind there depending on what project I'm working on. Desk drawer, just basic office supplies, pencils, hole punchers, my notebooks that I use currently, addresses, stuff like that. And then I like this drawer because it has another drawer above it, which I can also store all my whips for sewing. So these are some quilt tops that I need to finish. I crocheted satchel that I made, but I need to line it because I don't want anything to fall out of it with the holes. So I've got some fabric in here, black fabric, that I want to line that with. Just things I haven't gotten to. I finished some Christmas mug rugs. I thought these would make some cute gifts, but I gotta bind them, so family members will be getting some of these things for Christmas presents. Another quilt top here. Some sewing machine featherweight materials that I want to cover these machines with, since I don't have a cover for them. Just things that I've started and haven't finished. Lots more quilt tops. Oh, I have a table runner in here that needs to be finished, as well as another table runner here. This is my Ukraine door quilt that needs to be completed. I just start so many things and don't get back to them. This is probably going to go away, but for now, it's things right now that I need to file away. I just haven't gotten to that yet. And like I said, these two here or three, are more sewing. And the bottom two, I haven't labeled anything, are cross stitch pieces, either ones that need to be framed or my kits, some of my kits that I haven't started yet. That's cross stitch. And this is my yarn winder. If I need to wind up a ball of yarn, this is what that's for. And I'm gonna, before going to this unit, I'm gonna finish the drawers here. I've got 6 more on this side that I haven't gone through. These are gonna be prints, fabrics. This one is dots, all my dot fabrics, polka dots. This is solids, lots of solid prints in there. This one's floral. So that's kind of how I arrange my fabrics. It's just easier for some reason. Now, if I had a wall that was all fabric, I'd probably go by color. These are more holiday. There's a couple Christmas, but lots of 4th of July and fall are in here. That's kind of how I did that one. They're pretty full, so I've got plenty of fabrics. These are all baby fabrics. Quilt bears, all kinds of Mickey Mouse prints, stuff like that are in that one, and it's pretty full because I've got some of Briar's baby clothes that she can't wear anymore that we wanted to hang on to. Now we'll go over here. I'll start at the top. I decided to put all of my pattern books and magazines up here because I took the bookshelf out of here, and we're not doing the bookshelf in here anymore. So I thought I want these available, but I don't pull them down too often unless I print something and have to put them in there. But once I get to sewing, what I did is put all my sewing books on this side. So those are all patterns for sewing. Lori Holtz, Pat Sloan, Missouri Quilt Star, all kinds of the ones that I've been watching and drooling over. So those are all up there. The green ones are magazine holders, which have all my sewing and crafting magazines that I've collected. Some are pretty old. And then I have all my crochet on this side. The only other one that's not up here is my cross stitch book, and I'll show you that here in a second. But as for storage, I've got some lighting going in here, but that's what these things are here. they'll go up in here and the lights will come on when I turn the lights on. But I have plenty of extra storage here. I'm not quite sure if I start looking at something and it's not easy to get to, or if I've got a project that I don't want to put away and I just want to have it in sight. These will be good to store for those. Let's turn this on. I've got a light here. Got my clipboards here as well as my DMC books to easily access. My calendar here when I use them. I've been pretty bad about not writing things down lately, but like I said, these are all my rechargeable lights. If you're interested in how to light up things, this is kind of what I do. You put it on auto. You've got some options here, auto or just straight on. They're pretty bright, but to light up what you got in your cupboards, I thought very handy. This one seems to not be working. Maybe I turned it off accidentally. Maybe it's not working because it needs to be charged, and that's, oh, here we go. And they go off automatically when you close the doors after so many minutes. But I thought, you know, I want things lit up in here. Behind here, like I said before in a previous post, I use these TV tables for my ironing. I could do it here, but for right now I've got my desk, my laptop, and I wanted to keep that open. In all my cleaning, I put my light table somewhere, and I got to find it, but that's what's going to go here. So these two empty spots will be either for diamond painting, or if I need to cut something on my light table, I'll have it here. This is a spice rack originally, but going through all my stuff, I found, you know, I'll put my buttons in here. There's like 7 more of these that are empty, so I can fill up. These are like pop tops for crafting. There's a couple empty ones. I put my glitter in here as well as just colored buttons for now. Where's the glitter? There's the glitter. So for craft items, I thought this was a unique way to store them and get to them quickly and not have to search too difficult. You know, and you know, yellow. These are all my Lori Holt buttons right now, but I'll go and show you where I put all the rest. For some reason, this one's not going off, so I'll have to figure that out. One of these, I have 2, but one I have to always turn off, and the other one is automatic. So somehow I charged it wrong. But yeah, we'll just put these away while we're at this. I put my phone here, of course, and then this is my little kitty. You can connect Bluetooth to him, and he talks when other people talk. I've got some empty containers here. My plan, of course, is to collect some more flosses, like I always enjoy. But these are the Orifloss. I'd love to get all these filled with either Orifloss or silk patterns. Looks like I already have a light in here, so yeah. And then this guy here, he comes on as well. There we go. Sorry for moving around so much. Don't want to make anybody sick. But for now, these are empty. I'll decide what to put in them. This is all my diamond painting. All those little pieces, those are all in there. This is pretty much empty. So when I use it on my craft table, when I'm cutting or whatever, I can have an empty container. There's nothing in these, and then this has diamond painting stuff in it as well. So that's kind of what I've got right now. And like I said, I'll put my light table here. So that light didn't stay on too long, but enough to get it opened. So I am enjoying that. As for underneath, I've shown this before, but this is my file cabinet. Once I get these out of the way, I'll be able to open this fully, but these are cross-stitch patterns alphabetized by either company name or designer name. I tried to do most of them by their design names, Heartstring Sampler, so it's under H, etc. If I couldn't figure out if they had a design name and it was just their name, and then I did it by their last name alphabetized. But Blackbird Designs is under B. So those are all the patterns I haven't kitted yet. And then these are just files like receipts, things that I've purchased that I wanted to keep. Plenty of extra files for that. I'm wondering what this is down here. I didn't see it. Oh, those are hardware for the drawers, so I kept that in there. Bottom drawer. For now, this is the other booklet I talked about. This is the cross stitch book. Since I have my flosses in here, I thought all my patterns for cross stitch are in this book here. And it fits nicely in this drawer. And then I have an empty bin if I need it for more cross stitch supplies. Like I might separate the one that I have all the grime guards and stuff, put grime guards in one and hoops in another, or cross stitch stand pieces in another. Just I haven't decided yet. And then like I said before, these are all my Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts. They're all in here alphabetically. This system I got from Vanna Pfeiffer. So she had a post on one of her blogs that I found. Decided that was the best way for now with the little hoops to just take file folders, punch holes in them. You're cutting off the bottom parts, and it's caught on something. Ah, there it goes. And then just alphabetize A through Z, and then you look at the color name like avocado or what have you, and you put it in there. Just easy to find if I'm wanting to kit something up. That's the simplest way I've found to do it. I could hang them on the wall, but right now it's just for DMC. But it didn't want them to get any sunlight, so I thought a file system would be good. That way I can close them into the dark and less dust. The other side of the cabinet I've got here is a record player, so my granddaughter can come in here when I have her and we can turn on some music. Right now in here, I almost forgot this was in here. You can set up your laptop here as well. I used to have my sewing machine here. So yeah, I'll probably put these over on the rolling cart now that I found him. I forgot all about this being in here. And then my Super Supreme Glide and Machine Quilting Easy Glide, as well as another quilter's cutting mat. So this flips up and you can put your laptop on here. Got that? Don't want to break anything. And then it slides away when you're not using it. So I might even, now that I think about it, I could actually use this and put my wool mat up here as an ironing table. I didn't think of that. So yeah, I could do diamond painting up here when I have it and close it up. And then when I'm sewing, I can pull this out for my ironing table. And then I can actually move my iron down under, maybe away from over there. Bring it over here out of the way. When I'm ready to iron, I can just pull it out and it's not in the view. Boy, I didn't think of that. So this is good. This is just another sewing machine. It's my original Kenmore from my mother-in-law. So it's a nice little garage for it to store. I like the record player because I can pull it out and use it, and then it's just plugged in back there, and some headphones are there. But yeah, I think this is good. I did this so that I could find a few extra things that I forgot about and got a sewing or an ironing table out of it. So that's that unit. That's how that's stored. And then over here in the corner, I forgot to mention these. Well, this is my new stand. This is the cover that I put over the TV. But the 3 units back there are all beads and buttons and jewelry fixings, or if I want to make zipper pulls, all the little gadgets and stuff are in there for that. That's where I'm storing that. These are just set up here for cross stitch, and my blanket here for the baby was put on the floor yesterday when she came in here, but it's a TV so she can play in here and watch cartoons. And then over here I have her little toys, Mickey and Minnie. I put stuffed animals and her toys are in there. These are going to be little lights that I'm going to attach under here. I just haven't done it yet, so that I can see all my sewing machine and needles are in these little turntables. You'll notice they're really for Keurig K-cups, but I don't use them anymore, so my husband does, but I had way too many, so I thought these would make great little tools to just put my little sewing feet, and mainly that's all these are, just different sewing feet for your sewing machines. But instead of stuffing them in the bottom of a sewing box where you can forget where they're at, having them out for me is better. I decided to put all my ribbons and trims up here, as well as my little iron is up here, and a few extra threads and cups that go to this are under here. So these little bookshelves, I actually got them out of the closet when I was redoing the closet in there. They're just the 3-unit things, and I adjusted the shelves to fit what I wanted to put in each one. Then of course I have my serger up here. Turn on the light here. I mean, it easily turns on, and I use it to serge my cross stitch fabrics, which I've got in these IKEA bins, if that's where you're looking for storage. They're not organized properly right now, but I'll get to it. Right now I just have all my fabrics over here, and it's magnetic, so I was able to find like a little tool thing with snips and tweezers that you use for the machine. I have some ironing supplies in that one. My treat box is empty. I'm going to have to buy some treats. And of course, like I said, I like light, so if I need to see, I'll have available light and some tape and notepads to use. My gauge is here. If I'm questioning if it's not labeled properly, I'll be able to see that. So that's this little area. So everything came together. It just took me a few days. I shared in one of my lives last week my new cross stitch stand from R&R Woodworks. I'm loving it. Hopefully I'll get in here the next week or two and be able to test out how it works here. This is a video that we were watching yesterday. But you know, I got my glasses. I didn't put anything away. And in the live that I didn't share because I didn't have scissors, but I can grab a pair real quick. And I have a favorite pair that I'll probably put in here, but the little spool on here is perfect to hold a pair of scissors. And then your extra needles magnetized there. And I can put my phone here, an iPad here, and it'll hold with those two little stoppers, which is perfect. So that's my plan with my new Laurie stand. These are just some extra frames. Like I said, I could probably put them in that drawer. Keep things out away where I know I can get to them easily. A couple pegs on the back of the door. Like I said, I just hold some favorite bags that I have. And then we'll go to the closet here. On the back of the door, still haven't figured out. I was thinking about bottom half with those foam boards and covering it with felt so that I have even the smallest design board, because it's either that or my husband might get me for this, but I'm thinking even over here I could make a small design board above the sewing machine. It's just nailing them into the wall, so I have to think how I could get it up there without putting holes in the wall. Maybe some command sticks or something. As long as it's not too heavy, I think it'll work, or those Velcro stickers. But I've got a couple of those foam boards that you've seen, and I can put them up there when I'm wanting to see what some of my blocks will look like together. Just wanted somewhere to have that for now. I won't hang anything in those two areas. But for now, I got my 2 ironing boards, small and large. These are my tools, as well as just a few. These will probably go back on my mannequin. Those are some tools that I've been using mostly. I already put my seam ripper over there, so that's the plan for in here. This is how my pegboard turned out. I guess I'll start at the top. If I need any magnets to use, or even my grandbaby might enjoy playing with that. So I've got that up there with all my glues and my craft paints. Coming down here, these are my NPI silks, and I keep forgetting the names of the other silks that are here, but I've got those color coordinated here. My this is also from R&R Woodworks. If you enjoy clappers, this is one that he made, and I love using it when I'm ironing, so I've got it stored in here for now, and then I can just pull it out when I need it. My washi tapes, masking tape, 2-sided tape, extra flashlights. These looms did not fit in that stool I have, so I've just hung them in here. Magnet board for just all the different magnets that I don't use for for, what do you call them? Needle nannies, things like that. These are like cutters and stuff. These are my longer rulers and specialty rulers. You can see what it says, half square and quarter square triangles made with this ruler, and then just the long strip rulers are here. Scissors galore. I've got ones that make different shapes, curvy lines, pinking shears, a few tools. Oh, here's another ruler that makes circles. It wouldn't fit in my peg, so I had to put it on like a hanger peg. And then this was empty the last time I showed it, but I had some ribbon that I didn't want to get rid of, so these pegs, I still have some that are empty, but any extra ribbon that I have that I want to use, I just decided to hang them on these little, I don't know what you call these, they're really for curtain rods and stuff, or shower curtains. You could probably hang things like that on them, but I decided to bring them in here. Right now I've got some in my winter closet hanging with gloves attached to them, or scarves. But it makes a nice ribbon holder if you've got even little pieces of ribbon. If you do framing for your cross stitch, they'll come in handy for edges and stuff. I thought this would be a good storage solution for it for now, and I can see where it's at, not stuffed in a drawer somewhere. My beading tools are also here. You can cut wire and stuff, wire cutters and stuff. And then more hooks to hang more flosses, which I'm expecting here in a couple days. Another set of my NPIs. Back wall, this is how it turned out. I'm -1 here because this is a little tall, but I didn't have another one, but I thought this will be a good solution, and I will just label on each one what color I have of yarns that are in here. And the really big rolls are up there. The very top is my large project bags and tote bags that I use to put projects in when I'm kitting things up. Back corner, I've stuffed all my pillow forms, and then that's my featherweight case that my sewing machine goes in if I decide to take it with me somewhere. And then I tried to sort of color coordinate each of these bins so that I have like pinks, then oranges and greens. And then in the bottom are balls of yarn, different types and colors, like all browns and tans and blues and teals, things like that. Purples are over here. And then in the back corner, you can see in a previous video, that's where those 3 shelves that I took out of here were. There were 2 units stacked on top of each other, and I moved this whole bookshelf over towards the wall so that I could make a tower of yarn going all the way down. currently, once I get a bungee cord, I'm going to bungee a cord on here, going down to this second shelf so that this does not do this, and it'll keep it so that I can get in here and get the yarns if I need to. I just need to find a bungee cord to connect that with so that these don't end up on the floor, because right now these are all of my, oops, I'm sorry. These are all of my cross stitch whips that I've kitted or started, or my Whipco. So I haven't counted them, so I don't know. I'm not going to stand here and count them, but there is quite a few here. And besides the, there goes my cuckoo, because I am cuckoo for cross stitch. Besides my couple whips that I have out in the living room, these are all of my cross stitch whips that I've started in the last 3 years. So I've got a lot to do, but it's fun. Like I said, you can just come in here if you're wanting to cross stitch on something different than what you're currently doing. I enjoy, like even seasonally, looking through here to find a Christmas one that I've kitted and pull it out and start stitching on it. Up here is my Coming to America one that I've started, and it'll be years probably in the making, but I am enjoying the process. So that's that shelf. These are just other like empty containers or cross stitch supplies that I use in a project. Down below, empty containers, hole punchers. If I'm making floss tags, this is my main tag that I punch. So I just want them handy and easy to find. These are markers, chalk markers, and in behind there is mostly magnifiers, little magnifiers, as well as lights and lint supplies. There's some more punches here. These are suction cups that you put on the back of your cross stitch whips so that if you don't want your strings hanging, there's some of those. Next shelf is all paper crafts, cardstock, paper cutter. These are 3x5 cards if I need them to label something in my projects. Glues, colored pencils, highlighters, colored markers, dry erase markers, and chalk pencils. And then I have my scale here if I need to weigh some yarn. And then underneath this I put my sticky board. Whoops, I just turned on my scale. Let's turn that off once it goes to 0. It says error, of course. Let's turn it off. There it goes. So that's where I put my scale for now. Kind of do that so it doesn't do it. But anyway, my sticky board's under here when I do get to some framing, if I finish anything. This 3-drawer unit is got all craft supplies in it, magnets, cording, just different paintbrushes, things like that are in that drawer. And styrofoam pieces of all sorts, and wood pieces are in there as well. And then I think there's more wooden craft items in here, floral pieces. So I am all set when it comes to finding things in my craft room here. This is all batting, as well as fiber fill. Then I have some cross stitch whips that I haven't started, or crochet, not cross stitch, crochet whips there. This bag is my medium to small cross stitch project bags. Those are sewing machines, and then those 2 on top and the one in the middle, those are all 3 empty, but tote bags that you can carry your craft supplies in if you want a specific project or whatever to go somewhere. They're very handy and easily pulled down with a ladder. And then I have my, what do you call these, specific for cross stitch. You can put your threads on them, so I've got those supplied up there. And then these are for my pegboard. They're just letters, different colors. I got gray, white, black. So when I get to it, because you'll probably notice the date is still in June. That's how busy I get, and I always forget to change it out. But if I want to change out this board, that's what those are for. So that's pretty much what I did here in my craft room. I'm going to enjoy being able to come in here once I get this cleared off. A few more items to find homes for. We pulled these up yesterday because my grandbaby was playing in here and I didn't want scissors hanging in front of her. So I can put those back until she visits again. And then my rotary cutters go over here. So yeah, I'll just clean this stuff off, but I wanted to share how I've got things. And then there's just one other area I'll share with you, and I'll call it quits because we've been at this for 45 minutes already. Didn't think I could talk that long about one room, but that's kind of what I'm doing here. So, like I said, up here is where I put my pattern books. And because I took the bookshelf out of here with all these tables on the wall, I had to have somewhere to put all my crafting books. So I'll share, it's just outside the room here, there's a closet. And turn on a light here. Where did I put it? Right here. I got a little light in here so I can see, but I got my crochet books here. All my cross stitch books are here. And then some over down in here, and then I have a few quilt books over here. So just basically 3 shelves in here. Well, 4 shelves are mine, but one of them's not crafty. My husband gets the top 2, but then I have over here, these are some empty photo albums if I need them. But in behind there I have some craft items. We've got some beans to stuff, some what do you call those for crochet? Pom-poms, there you go. The words. And then I've got tassels here, extra yarn pieces here. These are all cross stitch books that I've filled out, or old calendar books that I've used. And then I have lots of empty photo books. Anybody has a use for them. I just couldn't get rid of them and thought maybe I'll use one for my grandbaby. But there's like 4 or 5 different books that are emptied here. I've seen other people craft and use these rings for different things like floss storage, so that's an idea as well. Just depends on how many I collect. So those are some plans for future, but nice storage to be able to come in here and see. Next shelf is all my CDs and audio books that I have. And on the very bottom, I decided to have somewhere for that unit. It just was taking up a lot of space in the craft room. But I can easily come in here if I need a craft item where I know it's at, Velcro, or I got little bells in there, extra yarn, eyes and stuff for crochet projects. And then I put on my little rack here, this is just cross stitch design paper pads as well as blank pages for quilting if I want to come up with something. A lot of notebook supplies here if I need something to put my yarns in. Zipper pouches that go in your notebooks for, you know, rulers or whatever if you're going. And then I have sheet dividers. That's all that kind of stuff is there. And then these are my stickers. These are more sheet dividers. And then my little wastebasket, I have some contact paper mostly with my vinyl. All my vinyl for project bags is in here. So maybe getting a clip and putting that on there so I know what's in these containers. Most of them you can see what's in them, but labeling each one of these little drawers, still lots to do, like my command hooks and stuff are all in there. That's kind of what I did with the books that were on the shelf previous. So I just kind of took over my, I don't know if others have little hall closets like this, but it's just here in my hallway. It is across from the bathroom, but I don't have a lot of linens for my bathroom, and that's probably what most people use it for, is storage for towels. But I have plenty of space under these cupboards for extra towels and things, so that's kind of what I do in my bathroom. So like I said, my husband has 2 of the shelves and I have 4 of the other shelves for craft items. And I got my spare room back. No more stuff on the floor. I can actually go in there and enjoy the room. And that was my other plan, is just to get back to cross stitching. I usually use that chair there with a stand. If I want to be back here, I can do that. But this is my setup for now, and I am going to enjoy it. Once I get that craft table cut off or cleared off, I will start my projects again. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, just put them below and I will try and answer them. Thank you. Have a great day.